Marcus Wellington stood by the big window in his home high above New York City. The sun was going down, making the tall buildings look gold. But Marcus did not care about the pretty view. Behind him, he could hear the sound of something breaking. "Tyler, stop," Marcus said, turning around fast. His 12-year-old son had just thrown a very expensive lamp across the room. The lamp hit the wall and broke into many pieces. Tyler's face was red with anger. His dark hair was messy, and his clothes were dirty from rolling on the floor during his fit. "I hate this place. I hate everything," Tyler screamed. He picked up a book and threw it at his father. Marcus moved away from the flying book. His heart felt heavy. This happened every day now. Tyler would get angry about small things and break something. Marcus had lost count of how many things Tyler had broken in the past month. "Tyler, please calm down," Marcus said in a tired voice. "Let's talk about what's wrong." "You don't care what's wrong," Tyler shouted back. "You're never here. You don't know anything about me." The boy ran to his room and slammed the door so hard that the walls shook. Marcus sat down in his big leather chair and put his head in his hands. He was one of the richest men in America. He owned companies all over the world. People wanted to meet him and work for him. But he could not make his own son happy. The house felt too quiet now. Marcus looked around the huge living room. Everything was perfect and expensive. The furniture cost more than most people's houses. The art on the walls was worth millions of dollars. But none of it meant anything to him now. 2 years ago, everything was different. Marcus's wife Linda was alive then. She took care of Tyler while Marcus worked. She made their house feel like a real home. She cooked dinner every night and helped Tyler with his homework. She laughed and played games with him. But then came that terrible night. Marcus was in Japan for business meetings. Linda was driving home from Tyler's school play. It was raining hard and the roads were slippery. Another car ran a red light and hit Linda's car. She died instantly. Marcus got the phone call at 3 a.m. He took the first plane home, but it was too late. Linda was gone forever. Tyler had to stay with neighbors until Marcus came back. The boy was scared and confused. He kept asking when his mom was coming home. Since that day, Tyler had not been the same. At first, he was very quiet and sad. He would not eat much or play with his toys. Marcus tried to help, but he did not know how. He bought Tyler new games and toys, thinking that would make him feel better. But Tyler did not care about the expensive gifts. Then Tyler started getting angry. Small things would make him very mad. If his food was too hot or too cold, he would throw his plate on the floor. If he could not find his favorite shirt, he would scream and hit the walls. The anger got worse and worse. Marcus hired the best nannies in the city. But Tyler was mean to all of them. The first nanny quit after Tyler put glue in her hair while she was sleeping. The second nanny left when Tyler hid her car keys and she was late for her other job. The third nanny stayed only 2 weeks before she decided she could not handle Tyler anymore. "He needs help," the third nanny told Marcus before she left. "Professional help. This is not normal anger." Marcus knew she was right. He took Tyler to 3 different doctors. Each doctor said the same thing. Tyler was grieving his mother's death. The anger was his way of showing pain. They gave Tyler medicine and talked to him once a week. But nothing seemed to help. The worst part was that Marcus felt like it was all his fault. He was in Japan when Linda died. If he had been home, maybe things would have been different. Maybe he could have driven her to the school play. Maybe she would still be alive. Marcus worked even more hours now, trying not to think about that night. But working more meant being away from Tyler more. And being away from Tyler made the boy even angrier. Marcus's phone rang, bringing him back to the present. It was his assistant, Mrs. Chen, Mr. Wellington. "I have the reports you asked for," she said in her calm voice. "Thank you, Mrs. Chen. Can you bring them to my office tomorrow?" "Of course, sir. Also, I wanted to ask about Tyler. How is he doing?" Mrs. Chen had worked for Marcus for 10 years. She knew Linda before she died. She also knew how much Tyler was struggling. "Not good," Marcus said honestly. "He had another bad day today. I don't know what to do anymore. Have you thought about putting him in an after-school program? Sometimes being around other children helps." Marcus had not thought about that. Tyler went to a very expensive private school, but he came straight home after classes. He did not have any friends. He did not play sports or join clubs. "What kind of program?" Marcus asked. "There are programs at regular schools. They help children with homework and let them play games. Tyler might like being around kids his own age." After Marcus hung up the phone, he thought about Mrs. Chen's idea. Tyler spent most of his time alone in the big house. Maybe being around other children would help him feel better. Marcus walked to Tyler's room and knocked on the door. "Tyler, can I come in?" "Go away," Tyler shouted from inside. "I want to talk to you about something new, something that might be fun." The door opened a little bit. Tyler looked out with red eyes from crying. "What?" "How would you like to go to an after-school program? You could meet other kids and play games." Tyler thought about this. "Would you be there?" "Sometimes," Marcus said. "But mostly it would be just you and the other children." "I don't know," Tyler said quietly. "Kids don't like me." Marcus's heart broke a little. His son felt so alone and unwanted. Maybe these kids will be different. Maybe they will understand you better. Tyler opened the door all the way. He looked very small and sad. "Okay, I'll try it. But if I don't like it, I don't have to stay, right?" "Right," Marcus agreed. "If you don't like it, you can come home." That night, Marcus looked up after-school programs on his computer. He found one at Roosevelt Elementary School. It was not in the rich part of town where they lived. It was in a regular neighborhood where regular families lived. But the program had good reviews, and they said they helped children with different needs. Marcus called the school the next morning. The principal, Mrs. Rodriguez, was very nice. She said Tyler could start the following Monday. "We have experience with children who are going through difficult times," she told Marcus. "Our staff is trained to help kids work through their emotions in healthy ways." Marcus hoped she was right. He was running out of ideas. Tyler needed help, and Marcus did not know how to give it to him. Maybe other people could do what Marcus could not do. As Marcus got ready for another day at work, he looked at a picture of Linda on his desk. In the picture, she was holding baby Tyler and smiling. They both looked so happy. "I don't know what I'm doing," Marcus said to the picture, "but I have to try something different. Tyler needs more than I can give him." Marcus put the picture back on his desk and grabbed his briefcase. He had important meetings all day, but his mind would be on Tyler. It was always on Tyler now. Maybe this after-school program would help. Maybe Tyler would find something there that Marcus's money could not buy. Maybe Tyler would find peace. Monday morning came too quickly for both Marcus and Tyler. Tyler sat at the breakfast table, pushing his eggs around his plate with his fork. He had dark circles under his eyes because he did not sleep well. "I don't want to go," Tyler said for the 10th time that morning. Marcus tried to stay calm. He was nervous too, but he did not want Tyler to know that. "Remember what we talked about. If you don't like it, you don't have to stay. But what if the kids are mean to me? Then we'll find somewhere else," Marcus promised. The drive to Roosevelt Elementary took 30 minutes. As they got closer to the school, the houses became smaller. The cars on the street were older. The shops had signs in both English and Spanish. This was very different from the rich neighborhood where Marcus and Tyler lived. Roosevelt Elementary was a brick building that looked like it was built many years ago. The playground had swings and slides that were not new, but they were clean and safe. Children were playing outside before school started. They looked happy and normal. Marcus parked his expensive black car next to the school. Some of the other parents stared at the fancy car. Marcus felt uncomfortable. He was not used to being around regular people anymore. "Dad, everyone is looking at us," Tyler whispered. "It's okay," Marcus said. "They're just curious about the car." Inside the school, Principal Rodriguez met them at the front door. She was a short woman with gray hair and a warm smile. She wore a simple blue dress and comfortable shoes. "You must be Tyler," she said, bending down to Tyler's level. "I'm Mrs. Rodriguez. Welcome to our school." Tyler hid behind his father's leg. He was not good at meeting new people. "The after-school program doesn't start until 3 o'clock, Mrs. Rodriguez explained to Marcus. "But I thought Tyler might like to see the room where he'll be spending time." They walked down a long hallway with colorful pictures on the walls. The pictures were drawn by children and showed families, pets, and favorite foods. Tyler looked at each picture as they walked. The after-school room was big and bright. There were round tables with small chairs around them. Bookshelves lined one wall full of stories and picture books. In one corner was a reading area with soft cushions and a small couch. In another corner were art supplies, paints, markers, paper, and clay. "This is where you'll do your homework," Mrs. Rodriguez said, pointing to the tables. "And this is where you can play and make things." She showed Tyler the art corner. Tyler did not say anything, but Marcus could see he was interested. Tyler loved to draw, but he had not drawn anything since his mother died. "When should I pick him up?" Marcus asked. "The program runs until 6 o'clock, but you can pick him up any time after 5 if you need to." Marcus looked at his watch. It was almost 8 in the morning. That meant Tyler would be here for 10 hours. Marcus felt guilty about leaving his son for so long, but he had important meetings all day. "I'll be back at 6, Marcus told Tyler. "Be good, okay?" Tyler nodded, but he looked scared. At 3 o'clock, children started coming into the after-school room. They were all different ages, from kindergarten to 5th grade. Most of them knew each other already and talked and laughed together. Tyler sat alone at a table watching everyone else. A woman with brown hair walked into the room carrying a box of snacks. She wore jeans and a yellow sweater. She looked young, maybe in her 20s. When she smiled, her whole face lit up. "Good afternoon, everyone," she said in a cheerful voice. "Who wants apple slices?" All the children raised their hands and gathered around her. She gave each child a small plate with apple slices and a cup of water. When she got to Tyler, she knelt down beside his chair. "Hi there," she said softly. "I'm Miss Sarah. You must be Tyler. This is your first day, right?" Tyler nodded but did not look at her. "First days can be scary," Sarah said. "But you know what? Everyone here had a first day once. And now look how comfortable they all are." She pointed to the other children who were eating their snacks and talking. "I don't know anyone," Tyler said quietly. "That's okay. You don't have to know people to be friends with them. Sometimes the best friends are the ones we meet when we least expect it." Sarah gave Tyler his apple slices and moved on to help other children. But Tyler noticed that she looked back at him a few times to make sure he was okay. After snack time, the children worked on their homework. Sarah walked around the room, helping anyone who had questions. Tyler had math problems to do, but he could not concentrate. The room was noisy and he was not used to being around so many people. "This is stupid," Tyler muttered, erasing his answer for the 3rd time. "What's stupid?" asked a boy sitting next to him. The boy had red hair and freckles. "This math problem," Tyler said. "Oh, those are easy. You just have to remember to carry the 1. The boy leaned over and showed Tyler how to solve the problem. Tyler was surprised. At his old school, the other kids never helped him. They usually stayed away from him because he got angry so much. "Thanks," Tyler said. "I'm Danny," the boy said. "What's your name?" "Tyler." "Cool, do you want to play soccer after homework time?" Before Tyler could answer, a girl at their table started crying. She was younger than Tyler, maybe 7 years old. "She had long black hair and braids. I can't do this," the girl cried, throwing her pencil down. "It's too hard." Miss Sarah came over quickly. She sat down next to the crying girl and spoke very softly. "What's too hard, Emma?" Sarah asked. "The reading. I don't understand the words." Emma cried harder. Tyler watched as Sarah gently picked up Emma's book. She did not tell Emma to stop crying or to try harder. Instead, she just sat with her and waited for the crying to slow down. "You know what?" Sarah said when Emma was calmer. "This book is pretty hard. How about we read it together? I'll help you with the big words." Emma nodded and wiped her nose with a tissue Sarah gave her. Tyler was surprised again. When he cried or got upset, adults usually got frustrated with him. They told him to calm down or threatened to call his father. But Sarah did not seem upset at all. She seemed to understand that Emma was just frustrated. Sarah and Emma read the book together. Sarah let Emma sound out the easy words by herself, but she helped with the hard ones. When Emma finished a sentence correctly, Sarah smiled and said, "Good job." After homework time, most of the children went outside to play. Tyler was not sure what to do. He was not good at sports, and he was afraid the other kids would not want to play with him. "Do you want to come outside?" Danny asked. Tyler shook his head. "I don't really like sports. That's okay. I don't like them either sometimes. Do you want to stay here and draw instead?" Tyler looked toward the art corner. There were markers and colored pencils and big sheets of white paper. He had not drawn anything in a long time, but he used to love it. "Okay," Tyler said. Danny and Tyler went to the art corner. Danny started drawing a picture of a dinosaur. Tyler picked up a blue marker and started drawing the sky. Then he added some clouds. Then he drew a tree. "That's really good," Danny said, looking at Tyler's picture. "You're a good artist." Tyler felt a small, warm feeling in his chest. No one had said anything nice about his drawing in a long time. Miss Sarah walked over to see what they were doing. Wow, Tyler, that's a beautiful tree. I love how you made the leaves look so real. Tyler looked up at her. She was not just being nice. She really seemed to like his drawing. My mom used to say I was good at art, Tyler said quietly. Your mom has good taste, Sarah said. Are you going to add anything else to your picture? Tyler thought about it. Maybe a bird in the tree. That would be perfect, Sarah said. While Tyler drew his bird, Sarah sat down at the table with them. She was not doing anything else, just watching Tyler and Danny draw. Most adults Tyler knew were always busy doing important things. But Sarah seemed to think that watching children draw was important too. Miss Sarah, Danny said, can you tell us about your little girl? The one in the picture on your desk? Sarah's face got soft and happy. That's my daughter, Emma. She's 7 years old, just like Emma here at school. She pointed to the girl who had been crying earlier. Where is she now? Tyler asked. She's at her after-school program at her school. I pick her up after I'm done working here. Does she look like you? Danny asked. Sarah laughed. A little bit. But she's much prettier. Tyler thought about this. Miss Sarah had to work and take care of a little girl by herself. That seemed hard. Tyler's dad was always talking about how hard his work was, but at least he had people to help him with everything. Is it hard to take care of a little girl by yourself? Tyler asked. Sarah looked at Tyler carefully. She seemed to understand that this was an important question for him. Sometimes it is hard, she said honestly, but Emma is the best thing in my life. She makes every day better, even the hard days. Tyler thought about his own mom and how she used to make everything better. Even when Tyler had bad days at school or when he was sick, his mom could always make him feel better. He missed that feeling so much it hurt. The warm feeling in Tyler's chest started to go away and the sad feeling came back. He put down his marker and looked at his picture. It was not finished, but he did not want to draw anymore. Sarah noticed the change right away. Tyler, are you okay? Tyler shrugged. He did not want to talk about his feelings. Talking about feelings usually made them worse. But Sarah did not push him to talk. Tyler's second week at the after-school program started well. He sat with Danny at homework time and helped Emma find her favorite book. But on Wednesday, everything went wrong. Tyler was working on a math worksheet when another boy named Jake sat down at his table. Jake was bigger than Tyler and had been at the school for 3 years. He thought he was the boss of everyone. Move your stuff, Jake said to Tyler. I want to sit there. Tyler looked up from his worksheet. I'm already sitting here, so? I was here first yesterday. This is my spot. Tyler felt his chest getting tight. This was how the anger always started. You can sit somewhere else. There are lots of empty chairs. Jake laughed in a mean way. Rich boy thinks he owns everything. Just because your dad has a fancy car doesn't mean you're special. Other children started looking over at their table. Tyler's face got red. He hated when people looked at him, especially when they were talking about his dad's money. I don't think I'm special, Tyler said quietly. Yeah, right, Jake said. I bet your dad bought you into this school. I bet you think we're all poor and stupid. Tyler stood up fast, knocking his chair over. That's not true. Prove it, Jake said, standing up too. If you're not a spoiled rich boy, then hit me. Tyler's hands turned into fists. The anger was getting bigger and bigger inside him. He wanted to hit Jake. He wanted to scream and throw things and make everyone stop looking at him. But then he heard Miss Sarah's voice. Tyler, she said calmly.
Can you come help me with something?
Tyler turned to look at Sarah. She was standing by the bookshelf holding a stack of books. She did not look scared or angry. She just looked like she needed help. But Tyler started to say. I really need help with these heavy books, Sarah said. Would you mind? Tyler looked back at Jake, who was still standing with his arms crossed. All the other children were still watching. Tyler wanted to fight, but something about Sarah's calm voice made him stop. Tyler walked over to Sarah, leaving Jake standing by himself. Sarah handed Tyler some of the books. Can you help me put these on the high shelf? She asked. Tyler nodded and started putting books away. His hands were still shaking from anger, but he did what Sarah asked. Jake is wrong, you know, Sarah said quietly, so only Tyler could hear. You are special, but not because of money. Tyler did not answer. He was still too angry to talk. You know what I noticed about you yesterday? Sarah continued. When Emma dropped her pencil case and all her pencils rolled under the table, You got down on your hands and knees to help her pick them up. You didn't have to do that. You chose to do it because you have a kind heart. Tyler put another book on the shelf. He remembered helping Emma. It made him feel good to help her. Jake is having a hard time at home, Sarah said. His parents are getting divorced and he's angry about it. When people are hurt inside, sometimes they try to hurt other people. It doesn't make it okay, but it explains why he's being mean. Tyler thought about this. He was angry all the time because his mom was dead. Maybe Jake was angry all the time because his parents were getting divorced. Does that mean I can't be mad at him? Tyler asked. You can be mad, Sarah said. Being mad is normal when someone is mean to you, but you get to choose what you do with that mad feeling. You can use it to hurt someone else, or you can use it to understand how other people feel. After they finished putting the books away, Sarah sat down in the reading corner. She patted the cushion next to her. Do you want to sit with me for a few minutes? She asked. Tyler looked over at the homework tables. Jake was sitting with his friends now, but he kept looking over at Tyler with an angry face. Tyler did not want to go back there yet. Tyler sat down next to Sarah. The reading corner was quiet and comfortable. There were soft pillows and a small lamp that made warm light. Tell me about your mom, Sarah said gently. Tyler was surprised. Most adults did not want to hear about his mom. They got uncomfortable and changed the subject. She died in a car crash, Tyler said. That must have been very scary and sad for you. Tyler nodded. I was at a sleepover when it happened. My dad had to come get me in the middle of the night. I thought I was in trouble at first. What was your mom like? Tyler smiled a little bit. She was funny. She used to make pancakes that looked like animals, and she would read me stories with different voices for all the characters. Tyler's smile went away. I miss her stories. What was your favorite story that she read to you? There was one about a little boy who could talk to animals. She would make different voices for the rabbit and the bear and the owl. The owl always sounded very smart and serious. Tyler tried to copy the voice his mom used for the owl, and Sarah smiled. She sounds like she was a wonderful mom. She was the best mom, Tyler said. Then he got quiet. Sometimes I forget what her voice sounded like, and that makes me really angry. It's okay to be angry about that, Sarah said. When we lose someone we love, we worry about forgetting them. But you know what? Love doesn't live in our memory. Love lives in our heart, and hearts don't forget. Tyler looked at Sarah. How do you know that? Sarah was quiet for a moment. Then she said, because I lost someone I loved too. My husband was a soldier. He died in a war when Emma was just a baby. Tyler's eyes got wide. Emma's dad died too? Sarah nodded. Emma doesn't remember him very well because she was so young. But I tell her stories about him all the time. I show her pictures and videos. And you know what? Even though she doesn't remember him with her mind, she has his smile and his laugh. Love passes down in ways we can't even see. Do you still get angry about it? Sometimes, Sarah said honestly. When Emma asks me why other kids have dads and she doesn't, I get angry at the world. When I see families together at the park, sometimes I feel jealous. But then I remember that being angry all the time won't bring him back, and Emma needs me to be happy so she can be happy too. Tyler thought about this. His dad was alive, but Tyler was still angry all the time. Maybe his anger was making his dad sad. Just like Sarah said her anger would make Emma sad. How do you stop being angry? Tyler asked. You don't stop completely, Sarah said. But you can learn to let the anger out in ways that don't hurt people. Do you want me to show you something that helps me? Tyler nodded. Sarah got up and went to the art supplies. She came back with a piece of paper and some crayons. When I feel really angry or sad, I draw a picture of my feelings, she said. It sounds silly, but it helps. Sarah drew a picture of a big black cloud with red lightning coming out of it. This is what my anger looks like, she said. Tyler took a red crayon and started drawing. He made jagged lines and dark scribbles. The picture looked like a storm inside his chest. That's exactly right, Sarah said. Now can you draw what you want to feel instead? Tyler thought about this. He took a blue crayon and drew some smooth lines. Then he added some yellow for sunshine. That's beautiful, Sarah said. Do you feel any different after drawing those pictures? Tyler was surprised to realize that he did feel a little different. The tight feeling in his chest was not as bad. A little bit, he said. Drawing feelings works because it helps get them out of your body and onto the paper. Then you can look at them instead of just feeling them inside. Tyler looked at his anger picture again. It did not seem as scary when it was on paper. "Miss Sarah?" Tyler said. "Can I ask you something?" "Of course." "Do you think my mom would be sad about how angry I am all the time?" Sarah put her hand on Tyler's shoulder. "I think your mom would understand why you're angry, but I also think she would want you to be happy. Moms always want their children to be happy." Tyler nodded. His mom always worried when he was sad or upset. She would do anything to make him smile. "Maybe I can try to be less angry," Tyler said. "For my mom. And for yourself," Sarah added. "You deserve to be happy too." They sat in the reading corner for a few more minutes. Tyler felt calmer than he had in a long time. Sarah did not try to fix his problems or tell him what to do. She just listened and understood. When it was time to go back to the homework tables, Tyler felt ready. Jake was still sitting with his friends, but Tyler did not feel as angry at him anymore. Jake was probably hurting inside just like Tyler was. Tyler sat down next to Danny, who had saved his seat. "Are you okay?" Danny asked. "Jake was being really mean to you." "I'm okay," Tyler said, and he meant it. When Marcus came to pick up Tyler that evening, Sarah walked over to talk to him. "How was Tyler today?" Marcus asked. "He had a challenging moment, but he handled it very well," Sarah said. "He showed a lot of maturity." Marcus was surprised. At home, Tyler did not handle challenging moments well at all. What happened? Another student was unkind to him, but Tyler chose not to fight back. Instead, he talked about his feelings and worked through them in a healthy way. Marcus looked over at Tyler, who was saying goodbye to Danny and Emma. Tyler looked calm and happy. This was so different from how he acted at home. "What did you do?" Marcus asked Sarah. "I just listened to him," Sarah said simply. Sometimes that's all children need. Someone to hear them and understand their feelings. Marcus thought about this as they drove home. At home, when Tyler got upset, Marcus usually tried to fix the problem quickly. He would offer Tyler something new or tell him to calm down. But he never just sat with Tyler and listened to his feelings. That night at dinner, Tyler was more talkative than usual. On Friday, Tyler had his worst day since starting the after-school program. It began during lunch at his regular school. A classmate named Ryan made fun of Tyler's sandwich, saying it looked weird and expensive. Then Tyler's favorite pen broke during English class. By the time he got to the after-school program, he was already feeling upset. During homework time, Tyler could not focus on his math problems. The numbers seemed to jump around on the page. He erased his answers over and over, making holes in the paper. "This is stupid," Tyler said loudly, throwing his pencil across the room. All the other children stopped working and looked at him. Tyler's face turned red. He hated when people stared at him. "I can't do anything right," Tyler shouted. He swept his math worksheet off the table and onto the floor. Then he put his head down on the table and started to cry. Miss Sarah walked over calmly. She did not tell Tyler to stop crying or pick up his paper. She just pulled up a chair and sat next to him. "Rough day?" she asked softly. Tyler nodded without lifting his head. "Do you want to tell me about it?" Tyler told Sarah about Ryan making fun of his lunch and his broken pen and how the math problems were too hard and how everyone was always looking at him. "That does sound like a very hard day," Sarah said. "No wonder you feel upset." Tyler lifted his head and looked at Sarah. His eyes were red from crying. "Why can't I just be normal like other kids?" "What makes you think you're not normal?" "Normal kids don't cry about broken pens. Normal kids don't get angry about math problems. Normal kids have moms." Tyler started crying again. Sarah handed Tyler a tissue. "You know what I think? I think every kid has hard days and gets upset sometimes. The only difference is that some kids are better at hiding it than others." Tyler wiped his eyes. "Really? Really? Danny told me yesterday that he cries when he watches sad movies. Emma gets frustrated with reading and sometimes throws her books. Jake gets angry when his parents fight. Everyone has big feelings sometimes." This made Tyler feel a little better. Maybe he was not as different from other kids as he thought. "Do you want to know a secret?" Sarah asked. Tyler nodded. "Sometimes I have days when everything goes wrong too. Last week I spilled coffee on my favorite shirt. My car would not start and Emma got sick at school. By the end of the day I wanted to cry just like you're crying now. What did you do?" "I called my mom and told her about my terrible day. And you know what she said? She said some days are diamonds and some days are rocks. Tomorrow will be a diamond day." Tyler smiled a tiny bit. "That's a nice way to say it. I thought so too." Today feels like a rock day for you, doesn't it? Yes, Tyler said, that's okay. Rock days help us appreciate the diamond days even more. Sarah picked up Tyler's math worksheet from the floor and smoothed it out. Would you like me to help you with these math problems? Sometimes it's easier when someone helps. Tyler nodded. He was tired of trying to do everything by himself. Sarah pulled her chair closer to Tyler's. She showed him how to break down each problem into smaller steps. When Tyler got confused, she drew little pictures to help explain the math. You're really good at explaining things, Tyler said. Thank you. I'm studying to be a school psychologist. That means I'm learning how to help children with their feelings and their learning. Is that hard? Sometimes. But I love learning about how children's minds work. Every child is different and special in their own way. Tyler worked on his math problems with Sarah's help. Having someone sit with him made everything seem easier. When he finished the last problem, he felt proud of himself. I did it, he said. You sure did. And you did it even though you were having a hard day. That shows how strong you are. Tyler had never thought of himself as strong before. He usually felt weak and sad and angry. But maybe Sarah was right. Maybe getting through hard days did make him strong. While Tyler was finishing his math, Marcus was having his own difficult day at work. His biggest client was unhappy with a project, and Marcus had to spend all afternoon in meetings trying to fix the problem. By 5 o'clock, Marcus was tired and stressed. But he had promised to pick up Tyler at 6, and he did not want to be late. Tyler had been doing so well at the after-school program, and Marcus did not want to mess that up. When Marcus arrived at Roosevelt Elementary at 6 o'clock, he was surprised to see Tyler sitting quietly in the reading corner with Miss Sarah. They were looking at a book together, and Tyler looked calm and happy. Hi, Dad, Tyler said when he saw Marcus. Miss Sarah was showing me a book about space. Did you know that some stars are bigger than our whole solar system? Marcus was amazed. Just that morning, Tyler had been grumpy and difficult. Now he seemed like a different child. That's very interesting, Marcus said. He looked at Sarah. How was Tyler today? He had a challenging start to the day, but he worked through his feelings very well, Sarah said. He finished all his homework and helped Emma find a book she wanted to read. Marcus was confused. If Tyler had a challenging day, why did he seem so happy now? What kind of challenge? Marcus asked. Sarah looked at Tyler. Would you like to tell your dad, or would you prefer that I tell him? Tyler thought about it. I can tell him. He looked at his father. I got really upset and cried. But Miss Sarah helped me feel better. She said some days are rock days and some days are diamond days. Marcus had never heard Tyler talk about his feelings so clearly before. Usually when Tyler was upset, he just got angry and broke things. He never explained what was wrong. And Miss Sarah helped me with my math, Tyler continued. She's really good at teaching. She draws pictures to help explain things. Marcus looked at Sarah with new respect. She had managed to turn Tyler's bad day into a good day. That was something Marcus had never been able to do. Thank you, Marcus said to Sarah. I don't know how you do it. Sarah smiled. I just listen to him and try to understand how he feels. Tyler is a very smart and kind boy. He just needs someone to believe in him. As they were getting ready to leave, Marcus made a decision that surprised even himself. Miss Sarah, he said, would you mind if I stayed to watch how you work with Tyler tomorrow? I'd like to learn your techniques. Sarah looked surprised too. In all her years working with children, no parent had ever asked to observe her methods. Of course, she said. But are you sure? It might be a little boring for you. I'm sure, Marcus said. Tyler has made so much progress here. I want to understand what I can do differently at home. The next day, Marcus arrived at Roosevelt Elementary at 3 o'clock. He had canceled 2 important meetings to be there. His assistant, Mrs. Chen, thought he was getting sick because he never missed work. But Marcus was not sick. He was desperate to learn how to help his son. Sarah introduced Marcus to the other children as Tyler's father. They were excited to meet him, especially Danny. Your dad is really tall, Danny whispered to Tyler. And he has a fancy car, added Emma. Tyler felt proud that his father was there, but also nervous. What if his dad did not like the after-school program? What if he decided Tyler could not come back? Marcus sat in a small chair at the back of the room and watched everything that happened. He saw how Sarah greeted each child by name and asked about their day. He watched her help with homework without getting frustrated when children made mistakes. He noticed how she spoke to every child with respect and kindness. During art time, Tyler came over to his father. "Do you want to draw with me?" Tyler asked. Marcus looked around. All the other parents had gone home. He felt a little silly sitting at a small table with crayons and paper. But Tyler looked hopeful, so Marcus said yes. Tyler showed his father how to draw feelings just like Sarah had taught him. Marcus tried to draw what his stress felt like. He made a picture of a big gray cloud with lightning bolts. "That's good, Dad," Tyler said. "Now draw what you want to feel instead." Marcus thought about this. What did he want to feel? He drew a picture of the sun shining down on a small house with 2 stick figures standing outside. "Is that us?" Tyler asked, pointing to the stick figures. "Yes," Marcus said. "That's us being happy together." Tyler smiled and drew his own picture of the 2 of them. In his picture, they were flying a kite in a big green field. Sarah walked over to see their artwork. "These are beautiful pictures," she said. "How did it feel to draw your feelings?" "Strange," Marcus admitted, "but also helpful. I can see my stress outside of myself now instead of just feeling it inside." "That's exactly right," Sarah said. "When we get our feelings out on paper or in words, they don't feel as overwhelming." Marcus was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "I've never done anything like this with Tyler before. What kind of things do you usually do together?" Sarah asked. Marcus felt embarrassed. "Mostly we just exist in the same house. I work, and he watches TV or plays video games. We don't really do activities together." "That's okay," Sarah said kindly. "You're here now, and that's what matters. Tyler is so happy that you came today." Marcus looked over at Tyler, who was adding details to his kite picture. Tyler did look happy. He was humming quietly to himself, something he had not done since his mother died. "He's different here," Marcus said quietly to Sarah. "At home he's angry all the time, but here he seems peaceful." "Children behave differently in different environments," Sarah explained. "Here, Tyler feels safe to express his emotions without being judged." Over the next few weeks, Tyler began to change in ways that surprised everyone, especially himself. He started asking his father if he could stay longer at the after-school program, not because he did not want to go home, but because he genuinely enjoyed being there. "Can I stay until 6 every day?" Tyler asked Marcus one morning at breakfast. "Emma is teaching me how to play chess, and I almost beat her yesterday." Marcus was amazed. Just a month ago, Tyler did not want to go to the after-school program at all. Now he was asking to spend more time there. "Who's Emma?" Marcus asked. "Miss Sarah's daughter. She comes to the program sometimes when Miss Sarah can't find a babysitter. She's really smart and she's teaching me lots of games." Marcus was curious about this Emma. Sarah had mentioned her daughter a few times, but Marcus had never met her. That afternoon, when Marcus came to pick up Tyler, he finally met Emma Mitchell. She was a small girl with her mother's brown hair and bright, intelligent eyes. She was sitting at a table with Tyler, showing him how to move the chess pieces. "This is called a knight," Emma was explaining patiently. "It moves in an L shape. 2 spaces up and 1 space over, or 2 spaces over and 1 space up." Tyler was concentrating hard, trying to understand the rule. "Like this?" he asked, moving the piece. "Perfect," Emma said, clapping her hands. Marcus watched in amazement. Tyler was learning something difficult, and he was not getting frustrated or angry when he made mistakes. Emma was teaching him with the same patience her mother showed. "Hi, Mr. Wellington," Emma said when she noticed Marcus watching. "I'm teaching Tyler chess. He's getting really good at it." "That's wonderful," Marcus said. "Thank you for being such a good teacher." Emma beamed with pride. "Mom says I'm good at explaining things because I remember what it was like when I was learning." Sarah walked over to join them. "How's the chess lesson going?" "Tyler almost captured my queen," Emma said excitedly. "He's learning really fast." Tyler looked proud of himself. At home, he usually gave up quickly when things were difficult. But here, with Emma's encouragement and Sarah's support, he was willing to keep trying even when he made mistakes. "Emma," Sarah said, "it's time to pack up. We need to go grocery shopping before dinner." Emma's face fell. "Do we have to go now?" Tyler was about to show me his new drawing. Sarah looked tired. Marcus could see the stress in her eyes. Working 2 jobs and taking care of a 7-year-old by herself was clearly exhausting. "Yes, sweetie. We need to buy food for the week and the store closes early today." Marcus made a decision that surprised everyone, including himself. "What if Tyler and I came with you?" he asked. Tyler could finish showing Emma his drawing, and maybe we could all get dinner together afterward. Sarah looked shocked. Oh, you don't have to do that. I'm sure you have important things to do. Nothing more important than this, Marcus said, looking at Tyler and Emma, who were both looking hopeful. Please, Mom? Emma asked. It would be fun. Tyler looked at his father with surprise and gratitude. Really, Dad? We can have dinner with them? Marcus nodded. If Miss Sarah says it's okay. Sarah hesitated for a moment. She was not used to accepting help from anyone, especially from someone as wealthy as Marcus. But Emma and Tyler looked so happy at the idea. Okay, she said finally, but we're just going to the regular grocery store. Not anywhere fancy. That sounds perfect, Marcus said. At the grocery store, Marcus experienced something he had never done before: normal family shopping. Sarah had a list and coupons, and she carefully compared prices on different items. Emma helped by reaching things on low shelves while Tyler pushed the cart. Marcus was used to having his housekeeper buy groceries, or eating at expensive restaurants. He had never thought about how much things cost at a regular store, or how much planning went into feeding a family for a week. Mom, can we get the cookies? Emma asked, pointing to a display of chocolate chip cookies. Sarah looked at the price. Not this week, sweetie. Maybe next week. Marcus could see that Sarah wanted to buy the cookies for her daughter, but she was being careful with money. The cookies cost $3. Marcus spent more than that on coffee every morning. When Sarah was looking at something else, Marcus quietly put a package of the cookies in their cart. At the checkout line, Sarah noticed the cookies. Emma, I told you we couldn't get those this week. I didn't put them there, Emma said, looking confused. Tyler looked at his father and smiled. He had seen Marcus add the cookies to the cart. Maybe they jumped in by themselves, Tyler said seriously. Sometimes cookies do that when they really want to be eaten. Emma giggled. Cookies can't jump, Tyler. Are you sure? Tyler asked, making a funny face. Maybe these are magic cookies. Emma giggled even more. Marcus was amazed to see Tyler being silly and making jokes. At home, Tyler was always serious and sad. After grocery shopping, they went to a small pizza restaurant that Emma and Sarah liked. It was not fancy, but it was warm and friendly. The tables had red checkered tablecloths, and there were pictures of Italy on the walls. Tyler had never been to a restaurant like this. Usually when he and his father ate out, they went to expensive places with waiters in suits and menus in French. This place was completely different, but Tyler liked it better. Emma and Tyler sat next to each other and colored on the paper placemats while they waited for their food. Sarah and Marcus sat across from them, watching the children laugh and talk. They seem to really like each other, Sarah said. Tyler has never had a friend like Emma, Marcus said. Actually, Tyler has never had any real friends. At his old school, the other children thought he was too different. Different how? Marcus was quiet for a moment. He was not used to talking about personal things, especially Tyler's problems. But something about Sarah made him want to be honest. Tyler gets angry easily, Marcus said. Since his mother died, he's had trouble controlling his emotions. The other children at his expensive private school didn't understand. They thought he was weird or dangerous. Sarah nodded. Grief affects every child differently. Some children become very quiet and withdrawn. Others, like Tyler, express their pain through anger. It doesn't make them bad children. It just makes them children who need extra understanding. The teachers at Tyler's school suggested he might have behavior problems, Marcus said. They recommended medication and special classes for difficult children. What did you think about that? Marcus looked over at Tyler, who was explaining something to Emma with animated hand gestures. Tyler looked happy and normal and completely unlike the angry child his teachers described. I thought maybe they were right, Marcus admitted. I didn't know what else to think. But seeing Tyler here with you and Emma, he's completely different. He's the boy he used to be before his mother died. Children rise to meet our expectations of them, Sarah said gently. If we expect them to be problems, they often become problems. If we expect them to be capable and kind, they usually show us those qualities instead. Their pizza arrived and the conversation became lighter. Emma told Tyler about her favorite books, and Tyler told Emma about the art projects he was working on. Marcus found himself laughing more than he had in months. After dinner, they walked to a small park near the restaurant. It was getting dark, but the park had lights and there were still a few families with children playing. Emma and Tyler ran to the swings while Marcus and Sarah sat on a bench nearby. They could hear the children laughing and calling to each other. "Thank you for including us tonight," Marcus said. "This has been wonderful." "Thank you for the cookies," Sarah said with a smile. "And for dinner. Emma hasn't been this happy in a long time." "What do you mean?" Sarah was quiet for a moment, watching her daughter pump her legs to make the swing go higher. "Emma asks me sometimes why she doesn't have a dad like other kids," Sarah said. "I tell her that some families are different and that's okay. But I know she wishes she had a father figure in her life." Marcus felt a strange flutter in his chest. "And Tyler wishes he had a mother figure." They sat in comfortable silence for a while, watching their children play. Tyler was showing Emma how to jump off the swing safely, and Emma was teaching Tyler how to pump his legs to go higher. "They take care of each other," Sarah observed. "Tyler has never taken care of anyone before," Marcus said. "At home he only thinks about himself and his problems. But with Emma he's protective and gentle." "Emma has never had a big brother," Sarah said. "She's always been the one taking care of everyone else. It's nice to see her being taken care of for once." As they drove home that night, Tyler was unusually quiet in the back seat. Marcus looked at him in the rearview mirror. "Did you have fun tonight?" Marcus asked. "Yeah," Tyler said. "Dad, can we do that again sometime?" "Do what?" "Just hang out with people, like regular families do." Marcus felt his heart squeeze tight. Tyler wanted to spend time with Sarah and Emma like they were family, and Marcus was surprised to realize that he wanted the same thing. "Would you like that?" Marcus asked. "Yeah. Emma is really fun to be around, and Miss Sarah makes everything feel safe." Marcus knew exactly what Tyler meant. Sarah had a way of making people feel like they could be themselves without being judged. She made both Tyler and Marcus feel accepted and understood. "Maybe we can ask them to do something with us this weekend," Marcus suggested. The weekend came, and Marcus found himself looking forward to it in a way he had not felt in years. Usually, weekends were just longer workdays for him. But this Saturday, he and Tyler were going to spend the day with Sarah and Emma at the city zoo. Marcus picked up Sarah and Emma from their small apartment. It was the first time he had seen where they lived. The building was old but clean, and their apartment was tiny compared to his penthouse. But it felt warm and cozy in a way his expensive home never did. Emma answered the door wearing a bright yellow dress and carrying a small backpack shaped like a ladybug. "Mr. Wellington." "Tyler," she said excitedly. "I've been ready since 7 o'clock this morning." Tyler laughed. "The zoo doesn't even open until 9 o'clock. "I know, but I was too excited to sleep," Emma said. "I've never been to the zoo with friends before." Sarah appeared behind Emma, looking a little nervous. She was wearing jeans and a simple blue shirt, and her hair was pulled back in a ponytail. Marcus thought she looked beautiful. "Are you sure you want to do this?" Sarah asked Marcus quietly. "The zoo will be crowded and loud. It's not like the quiet places you're probably used to." "I'm sure," Marcus said. "Tyler has been talking about it all week." At the zoo, Marcus experienced another first, being in a crowded public place as a regular family instead of as a wealthy businessman. No one recognized him or treated him differently. He was just another dad spending Saturday with his family. Emma was an excellent tour guide. She had checked out books about animals from the library and knew facts about every exhibit they visited. "Did you know that giraffes only need to drink water once a week?" she told Tyler as they watched the tall animals eat leaves from the trees. "Really?" Tyler said. "That's amazing. How do they do that?" "They get most of their water from the leaves they eat," Emma explained proudly. Marcus watched Tyler listen carefully to everything Emma said. Tyler was genuinely interested in learning from her, even though she was younger than him. At his expensive private school, Tyler never paid attention or asked questions. But here, with Emma, he was curious about everything. Sarah walked next to Marcus as the children ran ahead to the next exhibit. "Tyler is such a good listener," she said. "Emma loves having someone who's interested in what she knows." "Tyler loves having someone who takes time to teach him," Marcus replied. "You and Emma have brought out parts of him I forgot existed." They stopped at the penguin exhibit, where a large crowd was gathered to watch feeding time. Emma and Tyler squeezed through to the front to get a better view. Marcus was about to follow them when Sarah put her hand on his arm. "Let them have their moment," she said softly. "They're fine." Marcus was not used to letting Tyler out of his sight in crowded places. Tyler sometimes got overwhelmed and had meltdowns. But Sarah was right. Tyler looked completely calm and happy standing next to Emma, pointing excitedly at the penguins diving into the water. How do you do it? Marcus asked Sarah. Do what? Know exactly what they need. You always seem to understand how to handle any situation. Sarah smiled. I don't always know what I'm doing, but I've learned that children usually tell us what they need if we pay attention to them. Tyler tells me things now that he never told me before, Marcus said. Last night he said he wishes we could live in a smaller house because our house feels too big and empty. What did you say? I didn't know what to say. I bought that house because I thought it would impress people. But Tyler is right. It doesn't feel like a home. Sarah looked at Marcus with understanding in her eyes. Homes aren't about how big they are or how much they cost. Homes are about the people who fill them with love. Marcus felt something shift inside his chest. For years he had been trying to give Tyler everything money could buy. But what Tyler really wanted was what Emma had. A parent who was present and involved and genuinely interested in his life. Sarah, Marcus said quietly, can I ask you something personal? Of course. How do you do it all by yourself? Work 2 jobs, go to school, take care of Emma. You make it look so easy, but it must be incredibly hard. Sarah was quiet for a moment, watching Emma explain something to Tyler. It is hard, she admitted. There are nights when I fall asleep at my textbooks, and mornings when I don't know how I'm going to get everything done. But Emma gives me strength. She's my reason for everything. Don't you ever get lonely? Sarah looked at Marcus with surprise. It was a very personal question and she was not sure how to answer it. Sometimes, she said honestly, when Emma is asleep and I'm studying alone, I sometimes wish I had someone to talk to about my day, someone who cares about the little things that happen. Marcus felt a warm feeling spread through his chest. I would like to be that someone, he said quietly. Sarah's eyes widened. She had not expected him to say that. Marcus, she said carefully, we live in very different worlds. You're a billionaire businessman and I'm a single mom working 2 jobs to make ends meet. I don't want you to feel sorry for me. I don't feel sorry for you, Marcus said earnestly. I admire you. You've raised an incredible daughter. You've helped my son more than anyone else has been able to help him. You're kind and smart and strong. You're everything I wish I could be. Sarah felt her heart skip a beat. No one had ever spoken to her like this before. Her husband had loved her, but he had never seen her the way Marcus seemed to see her. You are those things, Sarah said softly. You just need to believe it about yourself. They were interrupted by Emma and Tyler running back to them, full of excitement about the penguins. Did you see them dive? Tyler asked his father. They can hold their breath underwater for 20 minutes. That's amazing, Marcus said, trying to focus on his son instead of the conversation he had just had with Sarah. The rest of the day passed in a blur of animal exhibits, shared snacks, and children's laughter. Marcus found himself taking pictures constantly, wanting to remember every moment. He had not taken pictures with Tyler since Linda died, but today felt too special not to capture. At the elephant exhibit, Emma got tired and asked if she could sit down for a few minutes. Without thinking, Marcus lifted her up and put her on his shoulder so she could see over the crowd. Is this better? He asked. Emma giggled with delight. I can see everything from up here. Thank you, Mr. Wellington. You can call me Marcus, he said. Tyler looked up at his father carrying Emma, and his face showed a mixture of happiness and something else. Marcus recognized the expression. Tyler was remembering his own father carrying him on his shoulders when he was Emma's age. Before everything became complicated by work and money and grief. Dad, Tyler said quietly, I'm not too big for that, am I? Marcus's heart melted. You're never too big for that, he said. When Emma was ready to walk again, Marcus put her down and lifted Tyler onto his shoulders. Tyler was heavier than Emma, but Marcus did not care. Having his son on his shoulders felt right in a way that nothing had felt right in a long time. Sarah watched Marcus carry Tyler and felt tears start in her eyes. Emma had never had a father figure who would carry her on his shoulders or make her feel special and protected. And Tyler had been missing this kind of physical affection from his father for too long. Mom, are you crying? Emma asked, noticing Sarah's watery eyes. Happy tears, Sarah said, wiping her eyes. Sometimes people cry when they're very happy. I'm very happy too, Emma said. This is the best day ever. Tyler heard this from his perch on his father's shoulders. It really is, he agreed. As they walked toward the zoo exit, Marcus realized that Tyler was right. This was the best day he had had in years. Not because they had done anything expensive or impressive, but because they had spent the day as a family, a real family who cared about each other and enjoyed each other's company. "Can we get ice cream?" Emma asked as they passed an ice cream cart. "Of course," Marcus said, reaching for his wallet. "Wait," Sarah said. "You've already paid for so much today." "Let me," Sarah, Marcus said gently. "Please let me do this. Not because I have money, but because I want to. Because you and Emma have given Tyler and me something precious today." Sarah looked at him for a long moment, then nodded. She was learning to accept kindness from Marcus, just as he was learning to give kindness without expecting anything in return. They sat on a bench eating their ice cream, watching other families walk by. Tyler and Emma were comparing flavors and making each other laugh. Marcus and Sarah sat quietly, both thinking about how natural this felt. "Marcus," Sarah said quietly, "thank you for today. Emma hasn't been this happy since her father died." "Thank you for letting us be part of it," Marcus replied. "Tyler hasn't laughed this much since his mother died." They looked at each other, and Marcus felt something pass between them. An understanding. A connection. The beginning of something neither of them had expected to find. "Sarah," Marcus said, "would you and Emma like to have dinner at our house next weekend? I could cook or we could order something." Tyler has been asking if Emma can see his room. Sarah hesitated. She had been to Marcus's building to pick up Tyler a few times, but she had never been inside his home. She was nervous about how different their lives were. "You don't have to cook," she said finally. "But if you're sure Tyler wants to show Emma his room, then yes. We'd like that." Tyler and Emma cheered when they heard about the dinner plan. Everything changed on a Tuesday morning 3 weeks later. Marcus was drinking his coffee and reading emails when his assistant, Mrs. Chen, called him with worry in her voice. "Mr. Wellington, you need to see the newspaper," she said. "There's an article about you in the school." Marcus felt his stomach drop. "What kind of article?" "The headline says Billionaire's Secret Romance at Public School. There are pictures of you with Tyler's teacher and her daughter. They make it look like you're dating her." Marcus closed his eyes. He had been afraid something like this might happen. Rich people dating regular people was always interesting news for the newspapers. "How bad is it?" Marcus asked. "Pretty bad. They have pictures of you at the zoo last weekend. Pictures of you carrying the little girl on your shoulders. The article says you're playing house with a single mother and questions whether this is appropriate behavior for someone in your position." Marcus felt angry and scared at the same time. He was angry that reporters had been following him without his knowledge. But he was more scared about how this would affect Sarah and Emma. "Do they mention Sarah by name?" Marcus asked. "Yes. They found out where she works and where she lives. They even mentioned that she's studying to be a school psychologist." Marcus hung up the phone and immediately drove to Roosevelt Elementary. He needed to warn Sarah before she saw the newspaper or before reporters showed up at the school. But he was too late. When Marcus arrived at the school, there were already 2 news vans parked outside. Reporters were trying to interview parents and teachers as they arrived for work. Marcus parked down the street and called the school's main office. "This is Marcus Wellington," he told the secretary. "Is Miss Sarah Mitchell there?" "I'm sorry, Mr. Wellington, but Miss Mitchell called in sick today. She won't be at work." Marcus knew Sarah was not really sick. She was probably hiding from the reporters, trying to protect herself and Emma. Marcus drove to Sarah's apartment building. There were no reporters there yet, but he knew they would find her address soon. He needed to talk to Sarah before things got worse. Sarah answered her door wearing pajamas and a robe even though it was 10 in the morning. Her eyes were red from crying and she was holding a newspaper in her hand. "Sarah," Marcus said, "I'm so sorry. I had no idea reporters were following us." "Come in quickly," Sarah said, looking around to make sure no one saw him. "Emma is still sleeping. She doesn't know about any of this yet." Inside Sarah's small living room, Marcus could see newspapers spread out on the coffee table. The headlines were terrible. "Billionaire's new love interest," "Rich man's charity case," and "Single mom hits the jackpot." "They make it sound like I'm only interested in you for your money," Sarah said, her voice shaking. "Like I'm using Tyler's problems to get close to you." "That's not true," Marcus said firmly. "Anyone who knows you would know that's not true." "But people who don't know me will believe it," Sarah said. "My boss at my other job already called me this morning. She said I might need to take some time off until this situation gets resolved. I can't afford to lose either of my jobs, Marcus. Marcus felt terrible. His wealth and fame were ruining Sarah's life, just like they had ruined his relationship with Tyler after Linda died. What do you want me to do? Marcus asked. I'll do anything to fix this. Sarah was quiet for a long time. When she finally spoke, her voice was very soft. I think you should stay away from us for a while, she said, until the reporters lose interest and move on to some other story. Marcus felt like she had hit him in the stomach. Sarah, please don't do this. Tyler needs you. I need you. Tyler will be fine, Sarah said, but Marcus could tell she was trying to convince herself as much as him. He's made so much progress. He can continue that progress without me. What about us? Marcus asked quietly. What about what we talked about at the zoo? Sarah's eyes filled with tears again. There is no us, Marcus. This whole situation proves that. We live in different worlds, and when those worlds collide, people get hurt. I won't let Emma get hurt because of this. Just then, Emma appeared in the hallway, rubbing her sleepy eyes. Mom, who are you talking to? Then she saw Marcus. Marcus, what are you doing here? Where's Tyler? Sarah quickly wiped her eyes and tried to smile. Marcus just stopped by to say hello, sweetie. Tyler is at school. Emma looked confused. Why aren't you at school, Mom? And why do you look sad? Sarah did not know how to explain the situation to a 7-year-old. How could she tell Emma that reporters were writing mean stories about their family? I'm just feeling a little tired today, Sarah said. I decided to stay home and rest. Emma walked over to Marcus. Are you staying home too? We could all play games together. Marcus looked at Sarah, who shook her head slightly. She did not want Emma to get more attached to Marcus when they were about to disappear from his life. I can't stay today, Emma, Marcus said gently. But I'll see you soon, okay? Promise? Emma asked. Marcus looked at Sarah again. He wanted to promise, but Sarah's expression told him not to. I hope so, Marcus said instead. After Marcus left, Emma spent the whole day asking questions. Why wasn't she going to school? Why did her mom seem so sad? When would she see Tyler and Marcus again? Sarah tried to distract Emma with movies and games, but her heart was breaking. Emma had been so happy these past few weeks. She had started talking about Tyler like he was her big brother, and she had started talking about Marcus like he was a father figure. Sarah realized she had let things go too far. She had let Emma get attached to people who were not really part of their family, and now Emma would be hurt when Marcus and Tyler disappeared from their lives. At Tyler's expensive private school, things were getting difficult too. Some of Tyler's classmates had parents who read the newspapers, and they started asking Tyler questions about his new mom and whether his dad was going to marry the poor lady. Tyler did not understand what they were talking about. He knew his father liked Miss Sarah, and he knew Sarah liked his father. That seemed good to Tyler, but the other kids made it sound like something bad was happening. When Marcus picked Tyler up from school that afternoon, Tyler was upset and confused. Dad, kids at school are saying weird things about you and Miss Sarah, Tyler said. They said you're in the newspaper. They said Miss Sarah is trying to steal your money. Marcus felt his heart break. He had hoped to keep Tyler out of this mess, but that was impossible. Tyler, Marcus said carefully, sometimes reporters write stories that aren't completely true. They don't know Miss Sarah like we do. They don't understand that she's a good person who genuinely cares about us. So the stories are lies? Some of them are lies, and some of them are just not the whole truth. Tyler was quiet for a moment. Are we still going to see Miss Sarah and Emma? Marcus did not know how to answer that question. Miss Sarah thinks it might be better if we stay away for a while, until the reporters stop writing stories about us. Tyler's face crumpled. But I don't want to stay away from them. Emma is my best friend, and Miss Sarah helps me when I feel sad about Mom. I know, Tyler, I don't want to stay away from them either. Then why do we have to? Marcus tried to explain about reporters and privacy, and how sometimes wealthy people had to be careful about who they spent time with. But Tyler was only 12, and it all sounded like grown-up nonsense to him. That's stupid, Tyler said. If you like someone and they like you, you should be able to be friends with them. Why does it matter if you have money and they don't? Tyler was right, and Marcus knew it. But the adult world was more complicated than Tyler understood. That night, Marcus could not sleep. He kept thinking about Sarah crying in her apartment, and Emma asking when she would see Tyler again, and Tyler not understanding why he had to lose another important person in his life. Marcus realized that if he really loved Sarah and Emma, and if he really wanted what was best for Tyler, he needed to find a way to protect them from the media attention, but he also needed to find a way to stay in their lives. The next morning, Marcus made several phone calls. First, he called his lawyer and asked about getting legal protection for Sarah and Emma from reporters. Then he called a private security company and asked them to watch Sarah's apartment building to make sure reporters did not bother her or Emma. But most importantly, Marcus called a meeting with the principal of Roosevelt Elementary and the school district's superintendent. He had an idea that might solve several problems at once. "I want to make a large donation to your after-school program," Marcus told them. "But I want the donation to be anonymous, and I want it to be used to hire more qualified staff and provide better resources for children who are struggling emotionally." The principal and superintendent were very interested. Their after-school program was always short on money and staff. "How large of a donation are we talking about?" the superintendent asked. "Enough to fund a full-time child psychologist position for the next 10 years, Marcus said, "and enough to provide training and resources for all the staff who work with children who have experienced trauma." Marcus was thinking about Sarah's education and her dream of becoming a school psychologist. If the school district created a permanent position for her, she would have job security and good benefits. She would not have to work 2 jobs anymore. 6 months later, Sarah Mitchell stood in front of her new office at Roosevelt Elementary School. The door had a brass nameplate that read Sarah Mitchell, School Psychologist. She still could not believe it was real. The job had come just when she needed it most. After the newspaper stories, she had been afraid she would lose both her jobs and not be able to finish school. But then the school district called and offered her a full-time position that would start as soon as she graduated. The pay was better than both her old jobs combined, and she had good benefits for the first time in years. Best of all, she could work at the same school where Emma could attend the after-school program for free. Sarah had asked many times how the school district could afford to create a new position, but they always gave her the same answer. An anonymous donor had made a large gift specifically to help children with emotional and behavioral challenges. Sarah suspected who the anonymous donor might be, but she had never asked directly. It did not matter to her where the money came from. What mattered was that she could finally provide a stable life for Emma, and she could do the work she loved. The media attention had died down after a few weeks, just as Marcus had predicted. The reporters found more interesting stories to write about, and people forgot about the billionaire and the single mother. But Sarah had not forgotten about Marcus and Tyler. She saw Tyler every day at the after-school program, but their relationship was different now. Sarah was careful to treat Tyler the same way she treated all the other children. She did not want anyone to think she was giving him special attention because of his father. Tyler understood why things had to be different, but he missed the close relationship he had had with Sarah. He missed talking to her about his feelings and his memories of his mother. Most of all, he missed spending time with Emma. Emma asked about Tyler and Marcus constantly. She did not understand why her 2 favorite people had suddenly disappeared from their lives. Sarah tried to explain about the newspapers and privacy, but Emma was only 7. All she knew was that the people she loved were gone. "When can we see Tyler again?" Emma asked at least once a week. "I see Tyler at work every day," Sarah would say, "but when can we see him outside of work? When can we play games and go to the zoo again?" Sarah never knew how to answer that question. Meanwhile, Marcus was struggling too. He had thought that staying away from Sarah and Emma would protect them, but it was making everyone miserable. Tyler was sad and withdrawn again, almost like he had been before starting the after-school program. "I miss Emma," Tyler told his father one night at dinner. "Miss Sarah is nice to me at school, but it's not the same. She doesn't talk to me about my feelings anymore, and I never get to see Emma at all." "I know," Marcus said. "I miss them too. Then why can't we see them?" Marcus had asked himself the same question 100 times. The newspaper stories were old news now. The reporters had moved on. There was no reason they could not spend time with Sarah and Emma, except for Sarah's fear that it would happen again. "Maybe," Marcus said carefully. "It's time to talk to Miss Sarah about this." Tyler's face lit up with hope. "Really? Really? But Tyler, you need to understand that Miss Sarah might say no. She might still be worried about reporters and newspapers. But if she says yes?" Marcus smiled. "If she says yes, then we can start spending time together again." The next day was Friday, and Marcus had an idea. Instead of sending his driver to pick up Tyler from the after-school program, Marcus decided to pick Tyler up himself. He had not been inside the school building since the newspaper stories came out. When Marcus walked into the after-school room, several children ran up to him. "Tyler's dad," Emma called out, dropping her book and running to give him a hug. Marcus knelt down and hugged Emma tightly. He had missed her so much. "Hi, Emma, how are you?" "I'm good, but I missed you." "Why haven't you been coming to see us?" Marcus looked over Emma's head and saw Sarah watching them from across the room. She looked surprised to see him, but not angry. "I missed you too," Marcus told Emma. "I've been busy with work." Tyler came over and stood next to his father. He looked happy but also nervous. He did not know if his father was there to take him home or to talk to Sarah. Sarah walked over slowly. She looked beautiful as always, but Marcus could see that she looked tired too. "Hello, Marcus," she said politely. "Are you here to pick up Tyler?" "Actually," Marcus said, "I was hoping to talk to you for a few minutes. If you have time." Sarah looked around the room. There were still other children and staff members present. "We could talk in my office," she said. Marcus had never seen Sarah's new office. It was small but comfortable, with a desk, 2 chairs, and shelves full of books about child psychology. There were also drawings on the walls that children had made for her. "Congratulations on your new job," Marcus said, sitting in the chair across from her desk. "I heard you graduated with the highest grades in your program." "Thank you," Sarah said. "It's been a dream come true. I can finally do the work I've always wanted to do." They sat in silence for a moment. Marcus did not know how to start the conversation he needed to have. "Sarah," he finally said, "I know you asked me to stay away to protect you and Emma, but I think staying away is hurting all of us more than being together ever did." Sarah looked down at her hands. "The newspaper stories were terrible, Marcus. They made me look like I was using Tyler's problems to get close to your money. But people who know you would never believe that," Marcus said, "and people who don't know you don't matter." "They matter to Emma," Sarah said quietly. "What if she grows up and reads those stories someday? What if she thinks her mother was a gold digger?" Marcus leaned forward in his chair. "Emma will grow up knowing that her mother is the kindest, smartest, most caring person in the world. She'll know that you helped a grieving little boy find happiness again. She'll know that you changed 2 people's lives just by being yourself." Sarah looked up at Marcus with tears in her eyes. "I've missed you," she whispered. "Both of you. So much." "We've missed you too," Marcus said. "Tyler asks about you and Emma every day. And Sarah, I think about you all the time. I think about our conversations and our day at the zoo and the way you make everything feel possible. Marcus, I care about you too. More than I should. But I'm scared. Scared of what? Scared of getting hurt. Scared of Emma getting hurt. Scared that this is all too good to be true." Marcus stood up and walked around the desk to where Sarah was sitting. He knelt down next to her chair and took her hands in his. "Sarah," he said gently, "I can't promise that there will never be another newspaper story. I can't promise that being with me won't sometimes be complicated. But I can promise that I will do everything in my power to protect you and Emma. And I can promise that my feelings for you have nothing to do with pity or charity or anything other than the fact that you are an amazing woman who has made me want to be a better man." Sarah looked into Marcus's eyes and saw nothing but honesty and love. She realized that she had been letting fear keep her away from the best thing that had happened to her and Emma in years. "What are you asking me?" Sarah said softly. "I'm asking if you'll give us another chance," Marcus said. "I'm asking if you'll let Tyler and me be part of your family, and if you and Emma will be part of ours." Sarah was quiet for a long moment. Then she smiled through her tears. "Yes," she said. "Yes, I want that more than anything." Marcus felt like his heart might explode with happiness. He stood up and gently pulled Sarah into his arms. For the first time in months, everything felt right again. "Should we go tell the kids?" Sarah asked. When they walked back into the after-school room, Tyler and Emma were sitting at a table together, working on a puzzle. They both looked up hopefully when they saw Marcus and Sarah walking together. "Tyler, Emma," Sarah said, "how would you like to have dinner together this weekend? All 4 of us?" Both children jumped up from their chairs and cheered. Emma ran to hug Sarah, and Tyler ran to hug his father. "Really?" Tyler asked. "We can all be together again?" "Really," Marcus said. "If you want to." "I want to," Tyler said. I want to so much. Emma was dancing around the room with excitement. Can we go to the zoo again? Can we have pizza? Can Tyler come to our house and play games? We can do all of those things, Sarah said, laughing at Emma's enthusiasm. That weekend, they had dinner at Marcus's penthouse. But instead of eating in the formal dining room, they ate in the kitchen, sitting around the small breakfast table. It felt more like a family that way. After dinner, Tyler showed Emma his room and all his art projects. Emma taught Tyler a new card game she had learned. Marcus and Sarah cleaned up the dishes together, talking and laughing like an old married couple. This feels right, Marcus said to Sarah as they watched the children play. It does, Sarah agreed. It feels like home. As the months passed, their unconventional family grew stronger. Marcus learned to be present for Tyler in ways he never had before. He attended school events and helped with homework and listened when Tyler wanted to talk about his feelings or his memories of his mother. Sarah learned to accept help and support from Marcus without feeling like she was losing her independence. Marcus respected her career and her role as Emma's mother, and he never tried to replace what she and Emma had together.